All right, here goes a video on composite figures and their surface area. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about two different types of composite figures here. The first one is a stat question. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a prism and we're going to glue a pyramid right on top of it. Okay, so I drew them separately just so you can kind of get the idea of what's about to happen. Now, if you take the surface area of these individual objects separately and then add everything together, you're going to find out that you have the wrong answer. And the reason why is you need to imagine that we're going to take, a little blob of glue, we'll call it super glue, and we're going to then glue that pyramid right on top of the prism. And if you think about what happens there is you eliminate the top base of the prism and the bottom base of the pyramid, because once you glue them together, this is now one solid object. It's no longer a pyramid on top of a prism. Find the surface area of everything and add it all together. Okay, so let's draw ourselves a little roadmap to solving this surface area problem. First thing that happens is we have only one base now. Okay, when you're doing surface area of composite figures, you want to actually imagine that you are holding this object in your hand, and with the other hand you're going to paint it, and you're going to cover every surface of the exposed parts. And since we glued those bases together, that only leaves us with one base area for this figure. And the other thing we have to do is we're going to have to find the lateral area of these four lateral faces of the prism. Okay, so we do need the prism's lateral area. And again, we have glued these two bases together, so we do not need to find the top base of the prism or the bottom base of the pyramid, which leaves us with just the four triangular lateral faces of the pyramid. And then after that, you're just going to add those three pieces together. Okay, so let's go check it out. First step, the base area. It's a square. So the base area is just 6 times 6, so our base area is going to be 36 units squared. Now for the lateral area of a prism, you need the perimeter of the base, which 6 times 4 for the square would be 24. And we need to multiply that by the height, which we're going to call 10, of the prism. So we're going to multiply this guy by 10. And you are going to find out that the lateral area, just the four rectangular faces of the prism, is 240 units squared. The last step is the pyramid. We have the four lateral faces, which are triangles. So remember, the lateral area of a pyramid is 1/2 of the perimeter of the base, which we already know is 24, times the slanted height, which we have here is 4. So then we're going to find that the lateral area is 48 units squared. So now we've painted the entire figure. So how much paint did you need to cover everything up? You just have to add all of those pieces together. Okay? So all you have to do, since they're all in the same units, we don't have anything with a pi, anything with a √3, all you have to do is add them together for a grand total of 324 units squared. And that's it. So really that's all it is. It's actually less work than what you think it is, because you just have to do these three pieces instead of all 5 if they were separated. Next example is where we take an object and we drill a hole right through the middle of it, which you think makes the surface area smaller, but actually a lot of times it can make it bigger. Let me show you. This is like a paper towel roll. And what you need to do is you need to find the area of one of the faces. Now the area of this face here is a circle with another circle being subtracted from the center. So the little circle has a radius of 2. And the larger circle has a radius of 2 and 4 more, so the larger circle has a radius of 6. So all we're going to have to do is big 36 pi minus the area of the little circle, which is 4 pi, to find out that our base area is 32 pi. Now, with an object like this, we actually do have a front and a back. Okay, so if you've seen a roll of paper towels before, it's not a point at the other end. So we actually do have two bases. So 2 times the base area is going to give us a total of 64 pi for our bases. Okay? But now here's the tricky part. Remember, when you're working with surface area, you want to imagine that you're painting. So you actually have an exterior cylinder. So we need to find the lateral area of that cylinder, which is circumference of the circle. If it has a radius of 6, the diameter is 12 pi times the height of the cylinder, which is 10, for a grand total of 120 pi. Okay, so you think you're done, you think you might have to subtract something, but if you were painting that inside cardboard tube, you would actually have to paint the inside of it, so you're using more paint. So you actually need to add the inside lateral area. So that would be a diameter of 4, so we would have 4 pi for the circumference times the height of 10. Our inside would be 40 pi. And then we have to add all of those pieces together. And if we do that, we are going to end up with a grand total of 224 pi units squared. That's it for this video on composite figures and their surface area. This is Longo and I'm out. See you, bye.